Minasan, konnichiwa, James tomo shimasu. And what does the line above the o mean in the word Romaji when it's actually written in Romaji? Well, first listen to the 5 Japanese vowels, a, I, u, e, o, and then listen to the word again, Romaji. The long O sound in Romaji is what we unsurprisingly call an elongated vowel, and if Romaji were truly a Japanese word, then we would write it in hiragana as Ro-O-Ma-Ji. But as it is though, Romaji is the Japanese adaptation of the word Roman, as in the Latin alphabet, combined with ji, which is the Japanese word for characters, as in letters or symbols. So in Japanese it is written like this, with the katakana character representing the sound ro being followed by a line this time to indicate that the vowel is elongated, then the katakana character representing the sound ma, followed by the kanji character, meaning characters themselves. The 2 key things to note here then before we move on to the main point of this video are that firstly, quote-unquote, borrowed words in Japanese, along with a few other types of words, are always written in katakana, and that secondly, while elongated vowels in Romaji can be indicated by putting a line, officially known as a macron, over the vowel in question, in katakana they are indicated by putting a line after the vowel. As a matter of fact, as far as I'm aware, aside from the obvious differences between the characters, this is the only difference between hiragana and katakana. The fact that in hiragana we write out every character, while in katakana we place a line after a character to indicate an elongated vowel. But either way though, bearing in mind that this video is supposed to be about hiragana and Romaji, if you see a macron in Romaji, then it's the same as a second vowel being placed after the first. For example, a, I, U, E, O, O. And there at the end, I hope you spotted the reason why not everyone adopted this use of macrons to indicate elongated vowels when writing in Romaji. The fact that while a double O and an O, are pronounced more or less identically in Japanese when speaking normally, not sounding out every vowel, they would still be written differently in hiragana, and as we can see here, although the single O with a macron suggests that it's spelt yo-o, the most famous Japanese word, sayonara, is actually spelt with an U. As a result, many Japanese language courses, series, websites and what have you that use Romaji don't use macrons because, as I suggested in the previous video in the series, if we want to use Romaji as a stepping stone to learning hiragana, then we have to be able to write out every word in both writing systems, character by character, not simply use macrons because it looks neater. And naturally then, this leads to confusion, especially when an elongated vowel changes the entire spelling and thus the pronunciation and meaning of the word in question, such as in this case, in which obasan means aunt and oba-san means grandmother, and misreading the macron will lead to a mistranslation. Or even more so in this case with oto meaning father and the u being hidden under a macron, while oto simply means sound and oto with 2 us hidden under the macrons means to answer or reply. So in short, whenever you see macrons being used in Romaji or a long line after a character in katakana, then always be sure to adjust your pronunciation accordingly, and remembering that hiragana was designed to represent sounds, be certain to take note of how the word would be spelt in hiragana to help ensure that you remember the correct pronunciation. But regardless of what system we're using to write Japanese though, the takeaway from this video is that elongated vowels have a fixed pronunciation in Japanese, just like all other double vowels in Romaji, and I'll be explaining that in further detail in the next video in this series.